Today I rise to speak to the House about New South Wales Greens politics, above all, tactic of co-opting faux experts to manipulate and deceive the public. They elevate individuals like Stephen Bendle of the Australian Gun Safety Alliance, presenting him as an authority on firearms despite qualifications that are barely tangential at best. Let's examine his credentials. Mr. Bendle holds a Bachelor of Education, but no firearms safety training qualification, and a Master of Science, but not in a technical discipline which helps him to understand firearms mechanisms. Instead, he is a registered health promotion practitioner, a medical lobbyist, a glorified healthy Harold without the fashionable giraffe's costume. Some of Mr. Bendle's writings cite real data, but when data is lacking, he fills the gaps with scare tactics and fairy floss. He warns about 3D printer firearms, yet there is no evidence on how these weapons have been used in crimes, nor that licensed gun owners have them or use them at all. He also ignores studies by Dr. Samara McPhedran, whose research directly contradicts his claims about gun ownership and violence. Mr. Bendle is a darling of the media, the ABC, the Guardian, the Australian, routinely citing their reports as evidence. He publishes through the Australian Gun Safety Alliance and the Alana and Madeline Foundation, not to promote balanced safety, but to advocate confiscation. He claimed Western Australia's legislation has scared the pants off the gun lobby, yet insists that these reforms be adopted nationally despite furor from farmers, landowners, veterinarians, licensed gun owners and medical practitioners. On the 8th of August this year, Mr. Bendle arrived at Macquarie Room, smug and magnanimous, to share his wisdom on firearms, until critical questioning began. Like an ice cube under a bedside lamp, he dissolved, stuttering and stammering when I asked about his qualifications in conservation hunting. Eventually he admitted he holds a Victorian firearms licence and supports ownership for genuine reasons such as hunting. He opposed the proposed 50,000 hectare expansion of hunting on Crown land in New South Wales, yet when Victoria expanded 130,000 hectares of national parks for hunting, his silence was deafening. How can New South Wales Crown land hunting risk public safety, but Victoria's national parks not rate a mention? Perhaps the Greens bought him an aeroplane ticket, a nice hotel and a fancy meal at Strangers. I speculate, but it's possible. But far more heinous is the Greens' manipulation of Walter Mikac. As a father and a husband who lost his wife and 2 daughters in Port Arthur massacre, our hearts go out to him. That trauma is unimaginable. In response, John Howard implemented some of the toughest gun laws in the world. Once a pharmacist, Mikac now dedicates his life to advocating for violence prevention. This mission is laudable, but the strict gun control enacted is already over the top, and that tragedy was 30 years ago in another state. Yet the Animal Justice Party, New South Wales Greens and their propaganda arm, the Invasive Species Council, continue to use Mr. Mikac as a political tool, persuading him to relive his trauma for their agenda. They misled him about the Conservation Hunting Bill, lying about its contents, exploiting his grief while dancing metaphorically on his daughter's graves. How did he travel to Sydney? Did he sit beside Mr. Bendle on the plane? Was there a discount for 2 tickets? Who paid for his time in New South Wales? And who is funding all the propaganda? Mr. Mikac has devoted his life to saving lives and preventing violence, but the Greens' treatment of him, combined with the reliance on Mr. Bendle's flawed expertise, shows blatant disregard for ethical, evidence-based policy making. It is pure emotion masquerading as sound policy and is plain misleading propaganda. New South Wales residents deserve better. We owe Mr. Mikac compassion for overcoming personal tragedy, but the Greens and the Animal Justice Party's unethical importation of misinformed and unqualified individuals to warp the narrative is beneath contempt. The public deserve honest debate, genuine expertise and truth in governance. This has not been on display.